of our vaccine going to Black and Latinx Chicagoans, even though those have been the hardest hit groups. And so when we moved from 1A into 1B and had the ability to start directing vaccines, we pushed vaccines to a lot of smaller providers. We over-directed vaccines to parts of the city that needed it. And we partnered with trusted voices, including union voices. So from early on, we worked with SEIU, thinking about home health care workers, thinking about people working in nursing homes. And then as we've expanded, we've made really central getting workers vaccinated here in Chicago. We've done a lot more of that, I would say, than some other cities have. And every single group that was prioritized by the CDC in 1B, we had a dedicated plan for and got vaccine to over those 2 months. And so with doing that, we've seen opportunities like this where we've been able to hit those equity goals. We set a goal that every week, at least 50% of our vaccine would go to Black and Latinx Chicago. Get from 18% up to 50%, and we've hit that goal every week since moving into it. And so it really is thanks to so many folks here in Chicago. We've said we want to do this efficiently, we want to do this with an equity focus, and we want to do this using trusted voices, including unions. And so it's been great to partner with CFL and so many others across the city as we do this.
Congratulations, guys. Well, I flew in, I just landed because I wanted to come and see what you all are doing here. And listen, we have organized labor to thank for building the middle class, for driving and building the economy of America, and here we have organized labor to thank for knowing how to organize people in a way that they can come to a place where they are treated with dignity, respect, and where they are supported. What you all are doing is so important, both for the folks who are administering the vaccination and those who have received the vaccine. Please tell all your friends, tell your aunties and uncles and your grandparents and the kids that when it's their turn, it is their time, and let's all just do what we need to do to be healthy, to be safe, to take care of ourselves and our families, and in that way we will build back up what we need to do, and we will build back up better. Because by the way, the President will tell you, and I feel very strongly, we're not trying to go back to what was normal, we're trying to do even better. And a large part of what we're going to do is working with your mayor, with your governor, and your senators, and with your Congress members to do what we can to make sure we get shots in arms to everybody. And also we have a plan that's going to be about building back up America's infrastructure. And that's going to be about jobs. It's going to be about good paying union jobs. It's going to be about supporting not only what we need to do to build up hard infrastructure like roads and bridges and airports, but also what we need to do to build up human infrastructure. And that's about folks in the caregiving economy, the brothers and sisters in SEIU and others, and making sure that all working people are supported with good paying jobs that recognize the dignity of work. And so I want to thank you all for your leadership. And on behalf of the President and myself, we so appreciate you. And good to see you. And take care.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Doctor, can you your left a little, please? We can't see. Thank you very much.
Madam Vice President, how you doing? You ready?
Remember, SEIU he's a window washer. If you want to see some of those amazing views of Chicago, ask a window washer to see the photos.
I know, that's hard work. That's hard work. That's dangerous. Yeah, they love it, right? That's right. Yeah. How do you think? Is that right? In your first job? No kidding. That's dedication, but that's an art. I mean, that's high skilled work. It is. A lot of skill involved. Well, thank you. I don't know how I feel about things like that. But you're out there on the scaffold, right? So do you go up to go down, or do you go down to go up? Yeah. Yeah. It is. It's fun being up with how. What's the highest building? This is a hero walking among us. Well,
Bring the strength up.
that's nice to meet you. And thank you for your work. And keep your family the best, okay? All right. Thank you for your work.
Dr. Allen, we have a
Oh, great. Yes. Thank you. How you doing? Yeah. How many shots in arms have you done? You had to guess. 12,000? No kidding. Wow. Thank you. Thank you for your work. It means so much. Let's see, when people keep coming back because they know that there's somebody that they can help. Right? Just giving health care. So you get care for them. And not just looking at them as a thing, but looking as a person. Right? That's right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I'll see you later. You take care, okay? All right.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I am so honored to be able to welcome all of you and, of course, our groundbreaking, history-making Vice President Kamala Harris. To this union-built vaccination site right here in Chicago's Chinatown. A year ago, Illinois was struggling to get any help from the White House to fight this deadly pandemic and to keep our people safe and healthy. My, what a difference a year can make. The Biden-Harris administration is doing everything in its power to get our residents vaccinated and to restore our economy. They've expanded the vaccine supply. They've built a mass vaccination site right here in the city of Chicago. They've helped us focus on Black and brown communities and on rural Illinois. And through the American Rescue Plan, they are directing another $124 million as of today to Illinois to expand our vaccination reach in underserved communities. Already, most of Illinois' counties are vaccinating all adults without restriction, and all 16 and over residents will be eligible in this state on April 12th, ahead of the president's deadline of April 19th. That doesn't happen without a great leader in the White House. And in partnership with Illinois' superb congressional delegation, led by Senators Durbin and Duckworth, and we're joined today also by Congressman Danny Davis. Thank you for your leadership. They've done great things for our economy, for recovering after this terrible pandemic, dedicating billions of dollars to addressing pandemic learning loss among our students, providing relief to our small businesses, investing in infrastructure. And by all accounts, when it comes to building back better, they're just getting started. So with that, I am very, very proud to introduce a longtime champion on behalf of the people of Illinois, someone who has fought alongside Senator Tammy Duckworth as a leader for our families, for our working families, for our children, and someone for whom I think all of us have a great deal of respect, our senior senator and a leader in the United States Senate, our own Dick Durbin.
Thank you very much, Governor. It's an honor to be here. And Vice President Kamala Harris, it is so great to have you here in the city of Chicago. And I just wanted to remind people, former United States Senator Kamala Harris, we miss you in the Senate. But the good news is, as Vice President, she comes in to vote. And every time Kamala Harris votes in the Senate, we win. So Tammy Duckworth and I are proud to be here. We are not going to let this pandemic break us, but it's going to teach us where parts of America are broken. And we're going to make this country better. And across the board, it starts with the American Rescue Plan, which President Biden and Vice President Harris led through Congress successfully. Senator Duckworth and I were proud to support, putting money into America where it was needed the most. We did it without the help of the other party. We invite them in on this conversation. We want them to be part of progress for the future. But when it came to sending the cash payments across America, when it came to sending the vaccine across America, when it came to making sure that people's unemployment benefits were extended for a period of months, we passed that bill overwhelmingly with our support and brought it to the American people, but we're not finished. We're just getting started. The next plan is to build America better and to build it back better. And to do that by investing in America, again, not just in roads and highways and bridges and railroads and airports. We know all about that in Chicago and Illinois. But to build back better in terms of the lifestyle of Americans, to make sure that we have safe drinking water. And I'm sure the mayor has a story to tell about that, as we do too, that we can make it safer for the people in Chicago and across Illinois, to make sure the buildings are more energy efficient, so that we don't waste money in keeping our buildings cool and warm when they have to be. Those are the investments that make a difference in the future of America. I stand ready and prepared to work with the Biden-Harris administration to get that job done so the next generation has a better life. And speaking of the next generation, I want to introduce my colleague in the United States Senate. I'm honored to serve with Tammy Duckworth. She has shown us what public service means. And it's a great pleasure to be with her every day in the Senate, working for the goals for Illinois and for the nation. My colleague, Senator Tammy Duckworth.
Thank you, Dick, and thank you, Madam Vice President, for coming to Chicago. It's so good to see you again. We campaigned together for the Senate, and we were in the same freshman class together. And we used to have the women's dinner, women's senators dinner, and supported each other. So I can tell you from personal experience that she's out there fighting for working families every single day. And thank you, all of you, for being part of this vaccination event. We've had a pretty rough year plus. A lot of hugs that didn't get hugged as a mom to a 3- and a 6-year-old. A lot of grandparents out there have not been able to hug their grandbabies. We have to say goodbye to loved ones that didn't get that final hug, that final goodbye from us. But this is where we come back stronger. When I was recovering at Walter Reed, we had a saying that you come back, you're stronger in the broken places. And that's what we're going to do as a country. We're going to come back stronger. We're going to learn our lesson from this. We're going to get ourselves vaccinated, our loved ones vaccinated, so that they can start hugging again. And just thank you all for doing this and being part of this and getting the word spread out to everyone. I'm also so excited to hear the Vice President speak about building back better. I am now the new chairwoman of the Water Subcommittee, and I am so pleased that water infrastructure is part of the discussion that is happening coming out of the White House. It is wrong that kids cannot drink out of their drinking fountains, that we've had to shut down drinking fountains. It is wrong that we don't have something as basic as access to an element of life, water, and we can do better. And it is here in Chicago. We have 23% of the nation's lead pipes are in Illinois, and most of it is in Chicago. But it's also in Galesburg. It is also in Peoria. It is also in El Paso, Illinois. We have to do this all over. And the way that we're going to fix the water infrastructure in this country, whether it is sewer systems, water reclamation, or lead pipes, is with union labor. It is union labor that is going to lead the way. You are going to set the standard, and this investment in infrastructure is an investment in all of our neighborhoods, all of our towns, all of our cities, because that water pipeline has to be fixed at the very local level. And that means money is going to flow to Main Street USA. It's going to flow to that small diner, that mom and pop shop on the street corner. It is going to get our economy moving again. So I just want to thank the Biden administration. I want to thank the Vice President personally for coming out here and talking to you all and giving us the encouragement for her to help lead this effort to build back better and lead this infrastructure package. And now I get to introduce am I going to be Danny Davis next? And Danny was just on a bunch of events with me talking about water infrastructure, talking about investments in healthcare and targeting communities of color in particular that are particularly hard hit. The African American community, the Latinx community, and then also in the caregiving community, the Asian American community is also especially hard hit among Asian American caregivers in particular as well. So my great pleasure to introduce my good friend, Representative Danny Davis.
Thank you, Senator. Madam Vice President, on behalf of all the AKA husbands and brothers in America, welcome to the city of the big shoulders, city of Chicago. I want to thank the Chicago Federation of Labor for hosting this event and for making sure that people get tested. But much more than that, I want to thank you for all that you have meant to Chicago and to all of America. I am so proud to be in Illinois, to live in a state with a tremendous governor who knows what leadership is all about. And that's why Illinois has been vaccinating more people than most states anywhere in the country. Anywhere in the country. To have two outstanding United States senators, the leader in the Senate, only one Democrat higher ranked. Senator Dick Durbin has been so outstanding, you can't write down all the things that he's been able to do. You can't write them down. Tammy Duckworth, the most courageous, determined person I've ever met. I've never met a more courageous and a more determined individual, getting ready to go back for her second scoop of the ice cream. She's done a great job and will do even better. But living in Chicago, one of the reasons that Chicago has done as well as it has is because of the fact that we have a mayor who takes no prisoners when it comes to making sure that there is compliance. I am so proud that she has provided the leadership that we need. Yeah, we generate money. I must tell you that the $1.9 trillion, the rescue plan, 941 billion of it came through the committee that I serve on. But we had to get that money to the mayor and get those vaccines. Every time I see our mayor standing up, leading, not driving, but leading the people in our city, I always say, I thank God that Laura Lightfoot is my mayor. Mayor Lightfoot.
That kind of introduction, we just say thank you and step away. So, can you hear this one? Yeah, it's better. All right, so a smart person hearing that kind of introduction would just say thank you and step aside. But I have the great privilege of introducing our great Vice President.
We are more than thrilled to have her here. And Madam Vice President, if you look around this room, this is what Chicago looks like. We are hardworking, union town of hardworking people who just want to get it done for their families, for their neighborhoods, and for their city. And have, throughout this pandemic, have made tremendous sacrifices just to do that. I am particularly proud to be in this Union Hall, 399. I want to thank the folks for making this opportunity available. I want to thank Bob Ryder and the whole CFL and Nora, because you've done a tremendous job in making sure that union members in a union hall get taken care of and protected. So thank you very much for that. You know, it's been said, but I'll repeat it. Our great leadership, from our governor to our 2 senators to our congressional delegation, whenever I call, they answer. Whatever we need, they take care of for us. So thank you for everything you're doing and advocating in Springfield and in Washington, D.C. on behalf of the residents of our city and our state. I've got to thank the leadership of public health. I want to thank, and I can never thank enough, Dr. Allison Arwady, who has been a champion and a warrior for us, on whose shoulders we stand every single day through this pandemic. So thank you, Dr. Arwady. I also want to call out and thank Dr. Ngaze, who is a leader of the Illinois Department of Public Health. Wave your hand there. Who's also been a tremendous champion and partner throughout this pandemic. Thank you, Joel Osco, for everything you all are doing, not just here, but across the city. The work of the pharmacies, which was aided by the Biden-Harris administration, pushing vaccine into the pharmacies to make sure that we were reaching more people. This is evidence of what that good policy decision made, because they're making it happen all over the city for people that we weren't able to reach before. So thank you so much, Joel Osco. Vice President Harris, you should all know, has been a champion in making sure that we get the nation vaccinated. More work to do, but tremendous progress since this team was inaugurated. People often ask me, what's it feel like now to have the Biden-Harris team in Washington, D.C.? And what I say is, it's like a breath of fresh air. You have given us hope, you inspire us, and you lead us at a time when we need real leadership in the White House. And so I can't thank you and the President enough. You are also obviously leading the COVID education campaign. And as the Vice President said, and I'm sure she'll repeat, you got to bring everybody you know to a place like this to get vaccinated. I understand the hesitancy, but educate yourself and then make sure you line up, get an appointment when you can do. When you can get an appointment, stand up and make sure that you get vaccinated. We need this to get our city back to a better place. If we don't have the vast majority of folks vaccinated, it's not going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. The summer that we hope for, the reunions that we want, just to be able to see our family and hold them tight, all of that depends upon us getting vaccinated. So take this message far and wide. Get people vaccinated. Anybody over 65, have them make a plan. You take them there, but whatever it takes. Postal workers, SEIU window washers, healthcare folks, make sure that you take the message and be the ambassadors for us to get our entire city vaccinated. Lead by example. Make sure that you get it done. So, Madam Vice President, I am so grateful that you accepted my invitation to come and just see a little sample of what's possible. So thank you so much. And without further ado, our Vice President of the United States.
It's so good to be in the House of Labor. Thank you all for what you do every day. Thank you, thank you. Let me start with the governor, Governor Pritzker. It's so wonderful to be with you. Thank you, and the mayor for coming onto the tarmac. I came in on Air Force Two, and they were right there. And on a warm, beautiful day in Illinois, thank you for all your leadership. And to my two friends, we have been in battles over the last 4 years in the United States Senate together. And I will tell you, Chicago and Illinois, you not only have leaders who are leaders for this state, but national leaders in Senator Durbin and Senator Duckworth. They are extraordinary. And I have seen them in rooms where there are cameras, and I've seen them in rooms where there are no cameras. And they are always fighting, and in particular, fighting for working people in America. So it's so good to see my two friends. Thank you. Congressman Davis, so he and I, we were together in the Congressional Black Caucus, and I will tell you, he's one of the deans in Congress. He is one of the people that people rely on for advice and counsel, and it is so good to be with you, and thank you for your years of leadership. And to the mayor, thank you for inviting me. I got calls, and you know, I guess it was a couple years ago now. I remember we had a great steak dinner together. And she said, I want you to keep coming back to Chicago because we're going to do great things. And then she reached out and said, you got to come and see what labor, what folks are doing in my community, because it will inspire you and it will prove to be a model for what the country is capable of doing. So I thank you for the invitation to join you, and I congratulate you for all your success, Mayor Lightfoot. Okay, so here's the deal. So we just celebrated, you know, the beginning of spring, and depending on your faith or just what you believe in or what you think about, you know, Passover and Passover and Easter and Ramadan and it's and whatever your religion, or if you don't have a religion, this is a moment, just because of the time of year, that is a moment where we feel a sense of renewal. Like we see the buds on the trees, we see the flowers starting to bloom, the days are longer, starting to get warm. And we can see a light at the end of the tunnel. Because we've been going through so much as a nation, so much death, so much loss of life, loss of jobs, loss of normalcy. For our children, loss of very critical stages of their education. And a lot of folks also were isolated because we said that's what we have to do. You can't hang out with your friends. You might have to be alone at home. And you know, when people are isolated, it tends to make us feel alone, like it's just us. But here we are today. And if you look around this room, it's got to remind us of something always, no matter what the season. We are not alone. We are not alone. We are all in this together. And one of the things about organized labor is you know that better than anybody. You know that better than anybody. You know nobody should ever be made to fight alone. We are all in this together. You know the power of the collective. You know the importance and the strength of people standing together, saying, you are my brother, you are my sister, you are not alone, we are in this together, and together we will use our voices to show just how strong we are. And so we are now, all together, because everybody here got vaccinated. That's a good thing. We're all here to make a statement that we understand the significance of getting vaccinated, that it's bigger than us. We're doing it because we know we are part of a community. We are doing it because we know that we will do it in a way that saves our lives, but the lives of our family members and our friends in our community. We are doing it because we know this is a room of role models. And people look to you to see how things should be done. And so I landed here in Chicago just an hour or so ago to come and say thank you. Because in particular, this site is a model for the country of organized labor, creating this safe place for other working people to come, where their dignity is recognized, where the dignity of work is recognized, where the dignity and the strength of the collective is recognized. So I'm here to thank you and to ask you for a little bit more. On behalf of the president and myself, look, we're getting more vaccines out now. Y'all have probably been reading about it. We have more vaccines. We're getting them out the door. Please help us to tell your friends and your family members and your coworkers that when it's their turn to get vaccinated. Remind people of their power to do something that will save their lives. Because, you know, here's the thing. You've been reading about this thing called vaccine hesitancy. Some people just like, I don't know. Well, if you talk with them and talk about your experience, you will convince people. So I'm here to ask you to do that. I'm here to ask you to do it because, you know, we can have celebrities and so-called famous people doing it, but the people who carry the most weight are our peers and the people we respect. So I'm here to ask you to do a little bit more and help us so we can truly get back up on our feet. And like I said earlier, not back to normal, because normal wasn't working for a whole lot of people. Let's get back to better. Let's build back better, as Joe Biden likes to say. And then let's work on not only getting the vaccines and getting everybody vaccinated, which is what we did with the American Rescue Plan, but then work toward the American Jobs Plan. And that's another reason I'm here. Joe Biden is very serious about being probably the most pro-labor president we have ever had. About ours being the most pro-labor administration. And so in the American Jobs Plan, it's about building back up our infrastructure in a way that we leapfrog. So it's not just about repair, it's about building things. It's about fixing things and building things. We talk about water policy. That's a big deal here in Chicago and in Illinois. Water policy, to do better, well, we need to construct places where we capture water, places where we store water. And here's the other thing, because I also, you know, I'm in a lot of meetings on foreign policy. You know, for years and generations, wars have been fought over oil. In a short matter of time, they will be fought over water. So when we think about building up our economy around our infrastructure on something like water policy, it's literally about jobs. It's about the fundamental source of life that Tammy Duckworth was talking about. It will sustain life. And it's about strengthening up our nation around a commodity that is a precious commodity. And so why am I talking about that here? Because also, you know the jobs that are necessary? I was in Oakland, the place of my birth, yesterday, looking at a water treatment facility. And I was there hanging out with some of the building trades folks. They're doing an apprenticeship program there. The jobs to build up the water infrastructure that I was looking at yesterday, that's plumbers, that's pipe fitters, that's electricians. That's who's going to build back up our infrastructure. We're talking about human infrastructure. Well, Kamala, what's that about? Human infrastructure. If you've got children or elderly relatives, you can't go to work if you don't have somebody to help take care of them. That's called human infrastructure. And so that's about supporting the caregiving economy, supporting care workers, and making sure they also have the wages and benefits that should come from a hard day's work that should be appreciated for its value. So that's what we're up to. And I wanted to come and share with you all what's happening in D.C., all with an eye towards what you all do every day here in Chicago. Because we're looking at you and we're looking to you to help us get all this work done. And most of all, we thank you. So y'all take care. Thank you.